Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Vicki Red Riding Hood. The reason why they called her that was because she wore a ruby red cape with a hood that her Grandma Ruby made for her. One day, Vicki Red Riding Hood's mother told her that her Grandma Ruby was sick, so her mother gave her a basket and some money to buy some food from the market and bakery. She even told her daughter to keep on the path and don't talk to anyone unless it's someone she knows. After kissing her mother goodbye, Vicki Red Riding Hood went to the market to buy piping hot chicken noodle soup and fresh lemon tea. Then she went to the bakery and bought a loaf of bread. Afterwards, Vicki Red Riding Hood walked out of the village and started making her way down the road to the woods where her Grandma Ruby lived. Before long, Vicki Red Riding Hood saw a patch of beautiful white flowers and decided to pick some for her grandma. "Oh, Grandma will love these," sighed Vicki Red Riding Hood. Unbeknownst to her, a wolf was in the woods watching her pick beautiful white daisies. He knew Vicki Red Riding Hood was going to her Grandma Ruby's house, and he had a plan. The wolf decided to go to Grandma Ruby's house and pretend to be her grandma. Once Vicki Red Riding Hood comes into her grandma's house, I'll be ready for her. So the big bad wolf sauntered over to Grandma Ruby's house and knocked on the door. "Who's there?" Grandma Ruby called. "It's Vicki Red Riding Hood, Granny," the big bad wolf replied in a high-pitched girly voice. "Come in, my dear," Grandma Ruby said, before she let out a sneeze. "Achoo!" "Gesundheit," said the big bad wolf. "Oh, thank you, dear grandchild," moaned Grandma Ruby. When Grandma Ruby sat up in bed, she was shocked to see that it wasn't her granddaughter at all. It was the big bad wolf. Before Grandma Ruby could bring herself to defend herself despite a cold she was dealing with, the big bad wolf swallowed her whole. Oh dear. Shortly afterwards, Vicki Red Riding Hood arrived at her Grandma Ruby's house. She was faintly surprised to see that the door was open a wee bit. She shrugged and made her way up to the door. "Granny?" Vicki Red Riding Hood called, peering through the doorway. "Come in, my child," replied a weak and sweet voice. Not knowing that it was the big bad wolf in disguise, Vicki Red Riding Hood quietly walked inside one baby step at a time. Just then, the big bad wolf disguised as Grandma Ruby peeked out from under the quilt. And of course, Vicki Red Riding Hood was flabbergasted to see that something was very different about her grandma. "Oh, my Grandma Ruby, you're looking strange. What big eyes you have." "The better to see you with." "Grandma Ruby, what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with." "Grandma Ruby, what a big nose you have." "The better to smell you with." "Grandma Ruby, what big hands you have." "The better to hold you with." "And Grandma Ruby, what a big mouth you have." "The better to eat you with, my dear." Vicki Red Riding Hood screamed, finally realizing it was the big bad wolf. And just as the big bad wolf sprang from Grandma Ruby's bed, Vicki Red Riding Hood grabbed a broom from nearby and knocked the big bad wolf out cold. That gave Grandma Ruby a chance to make her great escape. Thanks for saving me, dearie. It was stifling in there, Grandma Ruby said gratefully. It was my pleasure, Grandma Ruby. I bought some hot soup, lemon tea, and bread for you. I even picked flowers along the way. Vicki Riding Hood smiled. Just then there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Grandma Ruby and Vicki Riding Hood called together at the same time.
It's Uncle Jeff,
replied a deep voice. Come in, Uncle Jeff, Vicki Riding Hood sang. Vicki Riding Hood's Uncle Jeff came inside.
I couldn't help but hear you screaming all the way from the woods, young lady. Was it the wolf?
Yes, Uncle Jeff, but how did you know? Vicki Riding Hood asked.
Just a hunch, dear niecey, just a hunch.
Suddenly, the big bad wolf woke up with a sneeze. Jew! Oh, dear me, Grandma Ruby exclaimed. Bless you, Vicki Riding Hood and Uncle Jeff said together simultaneously. Thank you, the big bad wolf replied hoarsely. Goodness gracious, the big bad wolf has got your cold, Grandma Ruby, Vicki Riding Hood said. I think you're right, Vicki, Grandma Ruby replied. Can you call your Uncle Peter while your Uncle Jeff and I put the big bad wolf to bed? Vicki Riding Hood nodded yes. Vicki Riding Hood called her Uncle Peter, and it wasn't long until Vicki Riding Hood's Uncle Peter arrived, along with his nurse wife, Aunt Lizzie. Vicki Riding Hood was starting to feel sorry for the big bad wolf as her Uncle Peter and Aunt Lizzie examined him. In a few minutes, the big bad wolf realized that Aunt Lizzie was going to give him a shot. He felt nervous. Don't worry, Mr. Wolf, Uncle Peter reassured the big bad wolf. This will only hurt for a few seconds. The big bad wolf looked over at Vicki Riding Hood. Vicki Riding Hood, do you mind holding my paw? He asked her nicely. Not at all, Mr. Wolf, not at all, replied Vicki Riding Hood. Vicki Riding Hood asked her Uncle Peter and Aunt Lizzie if she could. Sure, but you'll need to wear gloves, said Uncle Peter. Aunt Lizzie pulled out a pair of gloves, and Vicki Riding Hood put them on her hands before she held his paw. Thank you, Vicki Riding Hood. You, your uncle, and your aunt are starting to make me feel better already. You're welcome, Mr. Wolf, Vicki Riding Hood grinned. Ow! The big bad wolf said when he felt the pinch. There, you see? My husband told you it will only hurt for a few seconds. Aunt Lizzie smiled. Yeah, thanks, Doc. Thanks, Nurse, the big bad wolf replied gratefully. You're welcome, Mr. Wolf, Uncle Peter and Aunt Lizzie replied at the same time. Later, Vicki Riding Hood, Grandma Ruby, the big bad wolf, Uncle Jeff, Uncle Peter, and Aunt Lizzie ate soup and bread and drank the lemon tea together. The big bad wolf decided to be good from now on, and that he would never gobble up grannies or scare little girls ever again. The end.